Hey guys, what's going on? And thanks for tuning into Legatum Gaming. And today I'm going to show you a different build for 1.7. So there's a lot of videos going around YouTube. You know, there's a lot of same builds going around. We're seeing Lone Star, we're seeing LMGs in there with MP7s. You know, it's back. We're seeing a Banshee with a couple tacticians in there. Don't get me wrong, they're really good builds. So not discrediting anybody who's done them. However, I just want to show you something. I say different. Of course, it's got elements in from other builds. However, I haven't seen anybody either post this or run this before. So stay tuned and find out what it is. So all in all, it's a hybrid build. So there's a lot of hybrid builds around, of course. However, as you guys can see my stats at the top, it's a pretty well-rounded build. So Firearms is pushing just over 7,300. My electronics 4,800, and my stamina 2,818. All right. So what is the build, you guys are asking? Okay. So, of course, I have my Ninja backpack, and as most people know, if you run a Ninja backpack, it gives your gear an extra set. So if you're running one piece of Predators, it gives you 2. If you're running 3 pieces of Predators, it gives you 4. Now, it caps out on classified, so it's mainly for the non-classified if it's no more than 4 pieces. So let's make a start. So, in general, I'm running Tactician's Vest. Now, I'm running 2 pieces of that. And when I'm saying 2 pieces or 3 pieces, it's because of the Ninja backpack. So I'm actually running 1 piece Tactician's Vest, but with the Ninja backpack, it makes it up to 2. I'm running 2 pieces of Banshee, but with the Ninja backpack, makes it up to 3. And I'm running 2-piece Pred, with the Ninja backpack, makes it up to 3. Now, you know, there's a lot of hybrid builds going around, as you guys can see up here. I do have quite a few of these hybrid. I think that's with the Vigorous. That's 2-piece Tac and maybe 2-piece Pred, I think. Again, I have a Predator hybrid, a Banshee hybrid. There's a lot going around. You'd have to excuse the name Rusher. I just didn't want to cross out the other hybrid I have. However, this is the best one I've actually played with so far, and I can guarantee you guys that. So let's go ahead and let's check out what I'm running. So with my lightweight M4, I have Adept, Fierce, and Competent. Now, not the normal talents you guys would see. You know, you're used to seeing maybe Responsive, Brutal, Deadly, or Adept, or something like that. In Fierce, not many people run that. However, if you guys do check out Marco's video he's recently posted, so thank you very much for that, Marco. That was a very good video about damage output and multiplicative damage opposed to additive damage. Now, of course, multiplicative, you know, you guys don't have to be experts at math. That is the better option to have. So it's all in the critical hit damage. So what I've done is I've tried to stack as much critical hit chance in my talents to run critical hit damage on my actual mod slots. So Adept up here with Fierce, of course, giving me an extra 5%. Adept giving me 7.5%. And then Competent, which is weapon damage, is increased by 10% for 15 seconds after using a skill. Now, Competent, if you guys think about that, it's going to be on all the time. So, you know, your cooldowns are going to be 15 seconds or less. You're going to be popping that all the time. So you've always got an extra 10% damage. Sidetracking a little, but we'll get back to it. We then run on to Banshee, which is 10% extra damage on set 3 bonus, and then Predators, which is an extra 8%. So, you know, you guys do the math. Let me work that out right now. 10, 20, 30. You're running like 42% extra damage before we start. So that's just the way we get onto it. The actual talents, or gear mods, shall I say, I have on this is a 17% crit hit damage scope, 3% crit hit chance, and 5.5% headshot damage. Now, of course, you can get a better crit hit damage percentage on this, so I just do need to roll out another one. My mags I'm running on this is 120% magazine size, 3% crit hit chance, and 5.2% rate of fire. We then go into the underbarrel, and it's 19% crit hit damage, 4.5% optimal range, and 2% accuracy. Now, I could swap out reload speed. It does give me a better DPS. However, with an assault rifle, I do want the extra range opposed to the reload speed. However, you know, that's just a personal preference. We then go into the silencer or the muzzle, and I'm running a 19% crit hit damage. 5.5% headshot damage, and 2.5% crit hit chance. Now, again, you guys can have a look at the top right. I am getting better DPS if I'm changing to a headshot and putting an Omega on. Now, I do have that on my secondary M4. Now, I won't go through the talents. I'm running slightly different talents on my secondary. Adept, Fierce, and Vicious, which again, you know, are slightly different, but you know the kind of theme I'm going for. Now, I won't go through them talents. However, the secondary weapon is entirely up to you. Now, I would actually run my MP5 as my secondary. However, as you guys can see, the talent I don't have unlocked, which is responsive. So, you know, there is a little problem with that, and I do have a problem with that, getting the 2874 mark, is it? Let me double check for you, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, 2874 is the requirement. Now, that is hard to get, unless obviously you're going to compromise firearms or electronics. Now, the truth is, it doesn't really matter, and you don't really, or I don't really swap to my secondary a lot, unless I'm in a seriously kind of like a major like gunfight in the Dark Zone or something. Alright, so let's get straight into my actual gear. So, a Tactician's Authority Vest. Now, I do have it rolled to electronics. It's got 14,000 health, 7% skill haste, and ammo capacity on it. Into the mask, I'm running Banshee, which is rolled to firearms, the major being skill power, and the minor being damage to elites. Now, just on a side note, you can actually run this for kind of like PvE. If you guys have a look, damage to elites, I do have 23%, and that's actually without trying, without speccing into that. So that's just a little side bonus. Predator's Mark, roll to firearms with health, and then again, you guys can see I've got burn resistance, disrupt, and damage to elites, which I'm pretty happy with the minor talents, so I'm pretty happy with that. Into the holster, I'm running a Banshee holster with maximum firearms with 7% skill haste. And then into the gloves, Predator's Mark gloves. Now, I've got enemy armor damage on this, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and it is rolled to firearms. Now, I was thinking of running maybe the Banshee gloves and swapping out the Predators with the mask and changing around a little. However, just the way that I prefer it, and the minors on the other gear, I prefer it running it this way. It doesn't matter too much which way you have around this build. You could have Tactician anywhere else, maybe in the mask or something. However, this is just what gear I had best, with actually the best armor is the main thing. So all my armor, I'm pretty happy with. It's all pretty good. And then, of course, I'm onto the Ninja Backpack, which is rolled to firearms with a maximum bonus of critical hit damage. So really, really pleased with this backpack. I do have another one if I wanted to spec out more into electronics. Now, we do have this rolled to electronics, or I say rolled, I'm actually saving a recalibration on this just for when I make my mind up. However, this is more of an electronics backpack. So it doesn't matter technically too much how you get into it or where you have your talents spec'd. However, this is the overall build. So I've shown you some PvP on the way in here, and some extra videos. Now, I hope you guys did to see the shred on that. It is an ultimate damage build. On the outro, I'm going to show a couple more for you, so do stay tuned if you did want a little more footage on that. I do have some more coming up for you. Alright, so weapon damage. Oh, I'm on my SMG. Let's get into that. Here we go with my assault rifle. So weapon damage is at 20,300. My critical hit chance is at 18.5%. Now, do bear that in mind. As soon as I pop up Adept, that's going to give me an extra 7.5%. And then Adept can stack. So, you know, do be wary of that. I can stack. So, theoretically, I can reach my crit hit chance cap. And then also on top of that, when I show you real quick, because of the skill power, if you have a look at my pulse, I'm getting 14% crit hit chance on that. So we go back to my character. I'm popping my health or my pulse. That gives me an extra 7.5%. That's like 23. What's that? 23, 24%. I'm then getting 14%. So that's 43. So you guys can kind of see I'm getting almost 40% crit hit chance here. So it's pretty much almost at the max, even though it doesn't look it. So don't be too fooled when you see a lower crit hit chance bonus here. You kind of like add up everything that you get. Crit hit damage 105% and headshot damage 86. Now, the nature of the build is a crit hit damage. I could swap out my muzzle for headshot damage, and these two would kind of like swap around. However, as I said before, multiplicative damage. Thank you to the video again, 105%. Always aim for crit hit damage. We're then going down, and something, of course, which we want to aim for is really, really good skill haste. Now, considering my firearms 7,300, I'm still maintaining a 44% skill haste. So a lot of that is coming from the mods I have in here, which I did forget to show you. So I've got a couple electronics mods there with skill haste. Another one here. And another one here, and just one firearms mod. However, all of the mods I have, regardless whether they are firearms or electronics, are all spec'd into skill haste. Now, of course, you must spec into skill haste. It's the nature of the build. Considering you have such low firearms, the electronics will make up for it in the aim of a pulse. So let's go on to my abilities. Now, the one thing I say I don't like about this build, however, it makes up for it, so it doesn't matter, is running with a Vigorous. Now, that's just something that I've always ran with, running with a Vigorous, and I'm used to having the booster shot, or maybe kind of like the defib. However, honestly, you will not know the difference. Apart from the maybe minimal extra damage you get, I'm running this with an overdose, and then, of course, a pulse. So 14% crit hit damage and 14% crit hit chance. So you guys can see really, really good in terms of specking extra damage. So if I'm going to add on 14% to my damage right here, you're looking at kind of like, what, 119, 120% crit hit damage just coming out of this build. We then go on to my talents. I'm running triage, so of course reducing the skill cooldowns by 15%. So my health actually says it comes back after 27 seconds. It doesn't. When you put triage in with 4 people, it comes back in 19 seconds. So when I mentioned earlier about my basically my damage on my competent, there will be a stage. If you pop at one time your pulse and your overheal, there will be a stage with 4 seconds. You won't get that extra 10% damage. However, it's not hard. You just pop them 4 seconds differently. So triage is what I'm running just to boost that up. Critical save and combat medic. Now, of course, I'm always running in a team of 4, so that's why I have these on. If you weren't running in a team of 4, you could maybe have kind of like down here, one is none on, or pop in something like strike back, something like that. However, I'm running a team of 4, so triage, critical save, and combat medic are most important for me and my team. Just to add that in, and then precision, headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. Now, you don't have to have that. You could have maybe like one is none or on the move. That doesn't matter too much. Attack advance don't really work here. However, it's entirely up to you on what you build or what you spec with. So this is kind of like the build overall, guys. You know, like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy the few videos on the intro. Now I am going to post you a few on the outro. Now this is a really, really strong build, really fun to use, and actually really hard for people to get you down. So, you know, guys, do run this build. Do let me know your thoughts, and do drop a comment. Enjoy the footage. Have a great day. I'm pushing in their base.
You could think that I'm a freak when I'm talking to myself, but it's like I was too weak to be someone else. You could think that I'm a creep when I'm singing alone, but it's like I couldn't see straight on my own. When I fall, start again, and when I feel like I'm just dead, and when I go, it comes again, and now I see it's in my head, yeah.
I just mowed down like 4 of them, man.
There's something that saves me all the time. In my disappears when I'm breaking down, like a whisper in my head, coming from out of nowhere, like a whisper in my head, when I got something to share.
Oh, they're at B3 inside.
Thinking that I'm a freak when I'm talking to myself, but it's like I was too weak to be someone else. You could think that I'm a creep when I'm singing all alone, but it's like I can't see straight on my own. There's something that saves me all the time. In my disappears when I'm breaking down, like a whisper in my head, coming from out of nowhere, like a whisper in my head, when I got something to share.
Are you downstairs? Oh, nice. Fucking flame! God. Oh, nice. Fucking fire. Nice, man. Good game.